What is up, guys? Right here. Welcome back to a brand new Black Ops Cold War video. And today I actually got a XM4 best class setup for you guys. Keep in mind, this setup is my personal preference, what I like to use. It fits my playstyle the best, so hopefully it will also help you guys in the long run. And if it does, I would appreciate a like down below. And if there's anything that you would change that I have on my weapon, you can leave a comment down below so that I can see what you would do instead, and I can try your version of the setup and see if it's any better than mine. I'm always looking to improve my setups and to overall have a better weapon, so if you have any opinions, leave them down below. Before we get into the setup, I just want to say, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. We're on the road to 20K, and also turn on notifications so you get notified every single time I do upload. I try to provide you guys with the best content I can make, especially when it comes to best class setups or any informational video that might be helpful to a lot of players. For example, like my how to get XP faster for your weapons. That's still up on my video. It's doing really well, and it's very helpful, so I do recommend going to check that out if you guys haven't yet. So thank you guys for helping that video perform very well. I appreciate you. I also like to provide good gameplay overall. Road to Dark Matter, a fun little series. Anyways, with that said, let's hop straight into this class setup. So like usual, I do have a gunfighter setup where it's 8 attachments, and then I also have a normal setup where it's only 5 attachments. So I have both of both worlds for any type of player out there. So starting off with what I like to use, which is gunfighter. I like to put 8 attachments on my commando because honestly, this thing's kind of slow, even with just 5 attachments, even if you try to speed it up as much as possible. So getting into this, for optic, it's your personal preference what you like to run on your weapon. But I like to rock either the Millstop Reflex, and this is mainly because it's a OG Black Ops 1 reflex sight, or a red dot sight, I should say. So that's the main reason why I use it. I just get good vibes from it. I just enjoy it. So that's personal preference if you guys want to use that or not. And then another one that I like to use that I think a lot of people might be using is the Microflex LED. It's basically the Coyote sight. But yeah, those are my optics of choice, but you guys can choose your own. It's up to you. You get no advantages or disadvantages with the optics. So hopping over to the muzzle. Now this one's pretty important. I don't think you should be changing this one at all, but obviously if you think something would be better, you can put that on. But SOCOM Eliminator is actually very good, and this is the reason for this is because you get a plus 17% vertical recoil control. That 85% muzzle flash concealment, that stat doesn't matter. I know it's in pros, but that stat will not matter. You have 2 cons to this: shooting move speed and horizontal recoil, but we fix that with another attachment that I will be putting on as well. But that's a very good attachment. I do recommend the SOCOM Eliminator. For our barrel, now this one's pretty interesting. So if you're playing a game mode like Dirty Mom, for example, you want to be using the takedown, the 13.7 takedown barrel. But if you're playing regular multiplayer, you want to use a task force barrel, because this gives you a plus 7% damage overall, which is very good. And then you also get a 50% damage range, which is also very helpful when it comes to the shorter range maps. So putting this attachment on allows you to be a little bit more free around the maps, run around, so you can do more damage up close, and also you can do quite a bit of damage from long range. But I do not recommend using this setup only from long range constantly, because you might lose sometimes to an M16, for example, if you don't have the takedown barrel on. Next up, we have the body, and for this we're using a steady aim laser. And for the reason for this, and we're not going down the list to get another one, is because every other attachment that has to do with hipfire accuracy has pretty big disadvantages when it comes to the cons. So I do not recommend using anything other than the steady aim laser, and the hipfire is already pretty decent when it comes to the XM4, so just putting that plus 20% helps out a lot. Next up, for our grip, we are using the foregrip, and the reason for this is because you get a plus 15% horizontal recoil control and absolutely no cons. And this is good because you're comparing it with that muzzle that I gave you earlier that has a plus 20% vertical recoil control. So most people will be putting on the field agent grip, where this gives you a plus 6% and also a plus 20% when it comes to recoil control overall. But honestly, you're losing a lot of shooting move speed, and that's pretty important. You don't really want to be losing that. You want to be the whole point of this setup is to be able to overall play from any ranges, but also still have your speed. Next up, for our magazine, we are using the Salvo 50 round fast mag. Now, I know a lot of people are turned away from this magazine because of the ADS speed that you're losing, which is 25%, which is a pretty big amount, but there's a way around this. So you put on the 50 round mag, and then you go to handle, and for our handle right now, I don't have it unlocked because I'm 1 level away. You want the airborne elastic wrap, and the reason why you want this is because it gives you a plus 30% ADS speed. that means you're still getting a plus 5% overall, even though you just lost that 30%. But now you're canceling that out and you're still getting a plus 5%, which is insane. Not only does this attachment help with ADS speed, the airborne elastic wrap, it also helps with flinch resistant, which I don't really notice too often, but it does help with that. And then you also can drop shot while aiming down sights. I don't usually drop shot, but I know a lot of people are doing it this year, so I mean, you have that benefit if you're somebody that likes to drop shot a lot. So that's a big plus. Next up, for our stock, we are using the buffer tube. This means no stock on our weapon, just like back in Modern Warfare, but this time around, it does not help with aim down sight speed like it did back then, which I think it should, at least by 5%. But you get sprint to fire time, and what I noticed with the commando is sprint to fire time is very slow, so helping that out as much as possible is very good. But what I noticed, I thought the buffer tube honestly would be a big disadvantage, but turns out it's not at all. It only is a disadvantage when it comes to hip fire, but you get a minus 15% hip fire accuracy. But you got to remember that we did put on the laser that gave us a 20%, so therefore you still have a plus 5% increase in hip fire accuracy, and the commando already has a good hip fire, so therefore you're not being really hurt at all, and you're getting a plus 30% sprint to fire, which is nuts. Now there is another stock that I have not got to try yet because it's level 54 and I'm level 52 right now for the weapon, but is the Raider pad. If you guys have this unlocked, please try it out, and if you used it, let me know down below in the comments, because I'm very interested to see if this is worth using, because you are losing a 30% hip fire accuracy, so technically 10% after you put on that laser. So I don't know if it's worth using. I don't usually hip fire much when it comes to the assault rifle. I try to stay away from distances like that, but sometimes you do get in a bad situation where you have to hip fire, so I'm not sure if that's worth using yet. But yes, that is my best class setup for the XM4. That's what I like to use. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my normal setup with just 5 attachments, which is a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and show that to you guys right now. All right, for our normal setup with 5 attachments, this one's a pretty interesting one, but trust me, okay, it's not too bad. Now, I don't know if it's bad on console. Keep in mind, you guys can try it out and give me feedback, because I don't play on console right now. It might be in the future, though. But as of right now, I'm on PC, so this type of setup does not affect me too much. So starting off with optic, there is no optic. You're running iron sights. I personally really like the iron sights in this game for the XM4. So that's up to you whether you want to trade something out that I have in my list of attachments and put on an iron sight. So choose at your own will. Starting off for our muzzle, we're doing the same thing and putting on the SOCOM Eliminator. For our barrel attachment, we also going with the Task Force one once again. No body attachment, and this is where it gets interesting. Console players might have a hard time. I'm not too sure. But no underbarrel. You're not putting on a grip at all. No grip. For our magazine, we went with the Salvo 50 round fast mag, but for me personally, I like to run the 40 round speed mag over that. So that's up to you guys, whatever you want to run, but I don't want to get that 25% aim down sight speed decrease. I'd rather get the 20%. So up for you guys to choose whether you want the 50 or the 40. For the handle, we are going with the airborne elastic wrap once again, and this is very helpful for ADS speed, like I said earlier. And then lastly, we're going with the buffer tube once again. Keep in mind, this does not hurt your actual aim down sight accuracy at all. It only hurts your hip fire, so that's why I do go with the buffer tube, and it makes you a lot quicker. This setup is something I like to run whenever I'm trying to be a fast-paced AR player. My other one is built for fast-paced, but not as fast as this one. So that's what I like to run when it comes to the 5 attachments on the M4. This is something I like to use overall, like I said, when I'm trying to get around the map quickly and use it almost like a SMG. I can't be that reckless, but this is what I like to run. I love your guys' opinions on both of my setups, so leave them down below. And if there's anything you would change on either of these setups, let me know, and let me know down below in the comments. Anyways, that is going to do it for our best class setup on the XM4. If there's another gun you'd like me to do a best class setup on, leave it down below in the comments. But I would like to mention that I do have the AK-47 maxed out, so if you do want me to do a best class setup on that, it'll be much easier for me since it's already maxed out. Just saying, my AK-47 setup, pretty nuts. Anyways, thank you guys so much for all the support recently. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to go. Peace out.